Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand.
Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome to First Contact Radio. How you doing today? Glad you could be here. Today is the 22nd of December, right here, 22nd. 22nd. Yesterday, last night, was the winter solstice. Winter solstice is the time when we go from the shortest day of the year to the longest day of the year. The time when that transition occurred was at 10:48 when we made the transition that we talked about yesterday, going from one sun sign to the next. So now we are in the sun sign of Capricorn. This is the sign that represents Capricorn. Now, this sign represents the material world, the physical world, Earth. Okay, it's an Earth sign. Remember, fire, water, air, and Earth. Fire is ideas, water is emotions, air, words, or actions. You apply those together, an idea with emotions, and you take action on it, and guess what? You get the physical thing you're working to build. And the only thing that's going to keep you from that is the doubts that get along the way, that doubt your ability to manifest into the world that which you want to manifest. And when I say your ability, it's simply your ability to impress upon the universe what it is as your co-creator part to create. Because you have the spirit which is co-creating with us. And so as we work with spirit, things that we want to manifest. So this here is about illusion. The Hebrew letter on there, ayin, means I. So what we're looking for is we're looking to see past the illusion of what this is, what we think this is. Is there a boogeyman out to get us? Is there some devilish character out there out to get us? Or is this simply a representation that doesn't exist and is an illusion? That's the whole idea of what ayin is about, looking past that. Now what this represents, Capricorn represents the Earth, the physical world, and turning off and cutting off every other aspect other than that. So the Capricorn is encouraged to understand that there's more behind the physical world. That though in the physical world we can have all the success we want, we can climb to the heights of the physical world that we want, there are limitations because the physical world is only one place. Imagine a building with 5 stories. First story is spirit, then second story you have the story of fire, then you have the story of water, then the story of air, and finally the bottom floor, which is earth. If you're only limiting to this, you're only going to one floor in the building which has 5 floors. But not only are you only going to that floor, but you think because you're caught up in the illusion, there aren't any other floors. And so you're stuck there. What we have to do is we need to rise above that. We need to look past the illusion and realize there's more floors in the building, so we can go to some of these other floors. Okay, so that's our Capricorn for the course of this month now. So as we deal with this, remember we're dealing with Earth, the physical world, things that are happening in our physical world, and the things we want to ask ourselves, is what we're experiencing real, or is it an illusion? Is there a way we can see past what we're seeing? And don't get into the habit of thinking the physical world is bad, because it's not. This is where we are. We're here for a particular reason, to learn some lessons. And part of the lesson is learning how to operate in the physical world without getting caught up in all of that maintaining the connection with the spiritual world. And if we do that, that's the balance we're looking. That's the balance here, the higher self that we just came out of Sagittarius, 1 foot on the land, 1 on the water. Balancing out that physical world with the other worlds, the worlds of spirit, the world of emotions, feelings, okay? So that's what's going on there. Now, this transition is going to go from Taurus into Gemini. That transition will be tonight. But before we get there, the aspects we're looking at is we have an aspect that occurred after midnight with Mercury, communication. Venus also jumped into the mix a little bit later at 4:36 a.m. Venus is about imagination. 8:26 this morning, and about 20 minutes from now, the moon is going to go void of course, which means it's going to run into the last aspect of Taurus, and then it's not going to be in any moon sign until it gets to Gemini tonight. So today is going to be this void of course day. Like being in the void, waiting for the next phase to begin, even though we've already completed the other phase. And at that time, we have a trine, which is a nice, good, energetic, pattern between these two. And we have Jupiter. Jupiter wants to expand things out. So we're going to expand Jupiter, the energy around us, as we get ready to go into Gemini. And we're going to let that expansion sit for a while from 8:26 this morning to 8:31 this evening, so that we can go ahead and find another way to express and communicate it later. Okay? Does that make sense? So when I look at the astrology, I always like to look at, first I look at it very simply. Fire, water, air, earth. What are the signs? How do those energies move? And what are some basic lessons I need to learn in there? By going to the Boda, the website there, I've brought that up a number of times. You'll see the chart there that gives you basic keywords for each one of these particular cards or signs. And by just remembering the keyword, it helps you to understand what the energies you're working with. Because that's what we're doing. We're just learning how to work with energy. So we have this expansion of energy, this expansion that comes with Jupiter's energy. That's what it represents. And when things expand, now we get ready to use that expansion. Think of the universe as inhaling and exhaling. Jupiter could be that, inhaling, expanding things out before we're ready to exhale. And the exhale could be coming up here when we look at Gemini. Because what does Gemini do? Gemini communicates. So Gemini is going to communicate with others, expand, express, expel the energy outward to be able to step out and reach and communicate. And there we have the Lovers. And one thing about this card, it's the opposite to this one. Here you got 3 characters. Here you have 3. Number of this card is number 15. If you add the numbers 1 and 5, it adds the card number 6, which is this card right here. So what this card is saying is when we have a proper relationship in life, our subconscious mind, the female, looks to the conscious mind, the male, who's looking to the higher self. I'm sorry, the other way around. The conscious mind male is looking to the female, the subconscious, who's looking to the higher self. That way we have a nice, great balance of what's going on because we are always in communication with that higher aspect of ourselves. So the part that's down in the ground, in the lowest floor of the building, is communicating with the higher floors and understands. And so therefore there's no ignorance about what's going on. You see through the illusion that this part was just an illusion here. The chains and everything are an illusion because there's more floors. There's nothing that is about this. This is what's real. This is what's fake. Okay? But this only comes when you think that that's all there is, just this physical world. All right, so it's kind of a little more of a explanation than I usually give, or not, I don't know. But anyway, that's what's going on today, Gemini, 8:31 p.m. The moon sign today, we're almost to the full moon, 89.6% of the way there. Christmas Day, December 25th. Full moon, 3:11 a.m. All right, Jewish calendar, 10 Tevet is the date for today. The daily thought is mental limits. Just as wisdom is not something you can touch with your hands, so godliness is not something that you can grasp with your mind. The mind cannot experience God. God is not an idea. God is real. More than inspiring thoughts, God is found in inspiring deeds. Dreamspell Oracle, it's a 3-tone day right here. Third tone is the tone of activation. If you think of this like a sequence of how we're going to use our energy, we magnetize it, we polarize it, and now we activate it. And the energy we're activating is the energy here of the dragon. The dragon nurtures, it gives birth to something. So we're giving birth, and today we're activating the aspect of that birth. Just sit and meditate this for a while and contemplate the keywords, and it helps you to understand a little bit more of the energy. So today we have the electric knight guided by the hand. Hand is our ability to accomplish, but we can use our hand also to hurt, to kill, or we can use it to heal, to help. Depends on how we want to use our energy. The knight here is about abundance, the subconscious mind, and the abundance that comes when we experience the subconscious mind in its fullness and the available energy that we have. So today we have the electric knight guided by the hand. The phrase for that is I activate in order to dream, bonding, intuition. I seal the input of abundance with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of accomplishment. All right. Space weather. Solar wind currently at 430.8 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is unsettled at a 4, where it looks like it's going to remain for the next 24 hours. The big coronal hole seems to be opening up, and it is a notification that Christmas Day will be receiving the blast from that coronal hole. M-class possibility is at 25%. X-class is at 5. Geomagnetic storm activity decreasing slightly from 15 down to 10 in the mid-latitudes, high latitudes from 20 down to 10. So things are subsiding. Remember, the universe is just inhaling and exhaling. Tuesday the 22nd. Here's our moon full. Just about full, and says this moon shines in Taurus this evening with the Pleiades to its upper left and Aldebaran in its lower left is shown here. Mars is passing 3 degrees north of Spica tonight, and tomorrow night they rise in the east-southeast around 1 or 2 a.m. Far lower left of Jupiter and shine high in the south by dawn. Okay. There you have it. That's the cosmic weather for today. So as always, plan accordingly as you go out about into the world. Just remember what Capricorn's about, and do a little study for yourself. Knowing what the astrological sign is, this is something that helps us to understand human nature. If anything else, take away all the esoteric and all the the other ideas about what it is, and just look at it as psychology. And that we've been able to determine that there's various psychological traits that are put out by individuals, and we can even look at it at certain times of the year that are influenced by this changing of seasons. That is not the same weather seasons, but a different type of season. So now we've gone from the season of Sagittarius to the season of Capricorn, an earth sign. So just pay attention to the events around you and see how many earth-like events dealing with the earth you're going to be involved with. Certainly Christmas is one of them. We give gifts. Gifts are a material thing. A lot of people are concerned about their jobs, which is a material thing, career, anything that the physical world. And don't put the physical world off as being bad. Just come to understand that it's only one floor, and we don't want to get so caught up in only this one aspect that we forget about the others. And that's the whole idea of the balance. That is the whole idea. Okay? So there you have it. UFO news is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, today I have 3 good stories for you. First story comes to us from St. Paul, Minnesota. This took place on the 20th. You can see our objects here, 2 lights in the sky. Okay, it says, I was walking my dog along the railroad track, 2 blocks east of where the tracks go over Como Avenue. There was points of light in the sky, in the north moving north to south in a line. None of the lights were in a perfect line, but formed a rough line. All moved uniformly and in sync, WRT velocity. My suspicions were raised when I realized that no sound was being emitted, contrary to my initial belief that they were military helicopters in formation. As the 4 of them passed overhead, the second to the vanguard diminished in brightness, and in doing so began emitting a redder light until it finally disappeared. Then I noticed more movement into the north and observed the 5th apparently catching up because of a slightly higher rate of speed. At this point there were only 4, and all continued in the same vector at the same speed. After a short time, as with the first one, all began to disappear in the same as the first detailed description to the right. Okay, so let me run a little bit of this over here. We could see the lights there. Multiple 1, 2. Here's another one over here blinking. Okay, check it out. See what you think about that. Here's our next story. This is a documentary. UFOs are unidentified flying objects are the most famous unexplained phenomenon of the 20th century, with over 1,000 UFO sightings reported a year. UFOs are becoming the topic of the century. Are they really out there? What is the government hiding from us? Governments mean to stop mass panic? They are already here among us. Watch the documentary to find the answer to the questions. Okay, the documentary itself is 45 minutes. Well worth your time. And one last piece here. This is about a UFO event that is coming upon another anniversary date. This is the Rendlesham Forest incident. You can go to this website here. It's just rendleshamforestincident.com. Tells us right at the beginning of the site. It says the Rendlesham Forest incident, known as Britain's Roswell, is undoubtedly one of the best documented and most significant military encounters with a craft of unknown origin, or UFO. It is also the case that involved very credible witnesses, trained USAF, Air Force observers, and security police. The incident spanned 3 days in 1980. Rendlesham Forest is a large pine forest east of Ipswich in Suffolk, England. Nearby, there are twin NATO air bases, RAF Bentwaters and RAF Woodbridge. At the time, both bases were being leased to the United States Air Force. Several UFO incidents, including multiple eyewitness sightings by military personnel, ground traces, and radioactive anomalies, were reported from the Rendlesham Forest. According to the Air Force security patrolman on duty, the object was described as being metallic in appearance and triangular in shape, approximately 2 to 3 meters across the base. It illuminated the entire forest with a white light and a pulsing red light on top and a bank of blue lights underneath. In November 2002, the British Ministry of Defense released a Rendlesham file of documents related to the confirming the Rendlesham Forest incident. Okay, and I'm going to jump over to this other page here, which is a page of the full report. And in this, we'll read a little bit here. The Rendlesham Forest incident of Christmas 1980 is probably one of the most remarkable UFO incidents on record. It has been dubbed Britain Roswell, but in reality, it's probably far more intriguing case. Like the Roswell incident, this one occurred close to several top-secret military establishments, including 2 air bases. As such, the case profile couldn't be higher, yet getting at the truth has never been easy. The full answers may never be known, but varying accounts from different people make the story that is never anything less than sensational. A story that seems to leap straight from the archives of the most exciting X-Files episode. On December 26, 1980, military personnel at Woodbridge and Bentwaters air bases in Suffolk, England, reported eyewitnessing over the next couple of days strange lights in the sky and a triangular craft landing in Rendlesham Forest near the bases. The 2 bases were being leased to the United States Air Force at that time and were situated right outside the 5.8 square miles of Rendlesham Forest, which is owned by the Forestry Commission. At around 3 a.m. December 26, 2 military security patrol personnel saw lights descending into the forest, which was about 1 mile from the east gate of the Woodbridge base. They first thought it might have been a downed aircraft and, of course, went to investigate with 1 other patrolman. They proceeded to scout it out on foot. When they got close, they reported, according to the United States Air Force halt memo below, that they saw a strange glowing object in the woods. The object was triangular in shape, metallic, approximately 3 meters across, 2 meters in height. The whole forest was aglow with a white light. The UFO itself had a reddish light on top and blue lights on the bottom. It appeared as though it was hovering or possibly standing on landing equipment. As the men moved closer to the object, it maneuvered away from them. They also reported that nearby farm animals were in a frenzy. On the following morning, when investigating the sighting of Rendlesham Forest, landing marks were found in the ground near where the patrolmen first spotted the object, as well as burn marks on nearby broken trees. There were 3 depressions from the landing gear that was 1.5 inches deep and 7 inches in diameter. Plaster casts were made of the landing gear depressions, but no one was sure of what they truly were. Some say they could have been made from common animals in the area. Later beta-gamma tests were done to determine if there was radiation contamination, and if there was, how much. It was determined that moderate radiations were found away from where the ship had landed at 0.05 and 0.07, and the highest readings were at the location of the landing. That night, a glowing object was spotted through the tree line, pulsing red. It then broke off into 5 different pieces and seemingly disappeared. Soon after, 3 more objects were spotted, 2 to the north, 1 to the south, all moving at rapid speeds and displaying red, blue, and green lights. The lights would randomly shoot white lights towards the ground and remain visible from 1 to 3 hours, all witnessed by multiple military men. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt, while investigating the UFO, brought a handheld Lanier microset recorder that he'd often used for note-taking. He recorded the investigation on the 28th of December while they were looking for the impressions from the ship and taking radiation readings. Okay, here you have his report here. So there you go. This is a whole site dedicated to the Rendlesham incident. You can see here there's lots of links to witnesses, all about it. All right? Different types of craft. Anything you want to know about this incident can be found right here. So I thought, since the anniversary date's coming up, I would get this info to you so you could check it out, check it out, check it out. All right, I'll be back momentarily. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love.
continue on. Continuing on. So I want to bring up, this is a link that I was sent by one of our viewers. And this was when I was talking about the flat earth, and I forgot to bring this up at that point, so I wanted to do it now. This is a map here. It's a map. You can see it's available at eBay. Flat Earth Gleasons map 1892 is scientifically and practically correct. And if you take the map and you go over here, you could see it's the map of the Earth as being the flat Earth. Okay. So there you have it. Just thought I'd bring that link available to you so that you can go check that out, maybe buy that map for yourself. All right, here's another link. This was sent by one of our viewers, and this is a link from a woman named Becky, and she's having her family seems to be going through some real health challenges. So she has a GoFundMe page, and it says from cancer to Colorado, and has a story in here of her mother and having cancer, and now her husband, and how they've been moving around and trying to deal with it, and the challenges that they're going through financially. So there's a GoFundMe page here, and you can go ahead and maybe donate to help out a bit. So I wanted to make that link available to you, so you can go, see there, see what that's all about. I also added a few links here that are some pages of alternative cures for cancer in case they're useful to anybody. This first one was a gentleman named Rick Simpson. Rick Simpson, you can look him up, but Rick Simpson had cancer, and he cured his cancer through using this cannabis oil. And so now he's got his own variety of cannabis oil that he uses and is being sold. So you might want to check this out. Check out Rick Simpson a little bit further. Okay. Here's another site, Cure Your Own Cancer, how cannabis oil works to kill cancer, and a good story about what happens. It says, let's look at what keeps cancer cells alive. Then we will come back to examine how cannabis, or CBD cannabinoids, and THC unravel cancer's aliveness. It says in every cell there's a family of interconnectable sphingoloids that specifically manage the life and death of the cell. The profile of factors is called the sphingolipid rheostat. If endogenous ceramides signaling metabolite is high, then cell death is imminent. If the ceramide is low, cell death is strong in its vitality. So very simply, when THC connects to the CB1 or CBD cannabinoid receptor site on the cancer cell, it causes an increase in ceramide synthesis, which drives cell death. This normally healthy cell does not produce ceramide in the presence of THC and is not affected by the cannabinoid. The cancer cell dies, not because of cytotoxic chemicals, but because of a tiny little shift in the mitochondria. Okay, so there's that. And here's another link, cancer treatments the media never talk about could save your life. And here's a variety of information on the subject, and so on. Okay, so I just thought I would make that available. So if you happen to be watching Becky, maybe you can use those links. And if anybody else out there is going through any health challenges, but those links might be helpful as well. Okay, so thoughts and prayers out to you and your family, and I hope everyone gets well and healthy soon. All right, let's move on here. It's the Christmas holiday. Yesterday we had just last night, the winter solstice. So we've gone from the shortest day of the year to now beginning the longest day of the year. And that will be in June. So today we're starting to make our way back. We've gone to the shortest day. And so now what's happening is the light is returning. Literally, the light is returning to the earth. So that is part of what this season is all about. It's about the light returning to the earth. So I'm going to go over some of the different descriptions of what Christmas is and where it comes from, and so on. But before I do, I want to give you a definition here of the word paganism, because this is a word that comes up and people think it's something bad and evil. Well, I want you to understand. It says paganism is a term that developed among the Christian community of southern Europe during the late antiquity to describe religions other than their own. Judaism or Islam, the three Abrahamic religions throughout Christendom. It continued to be used typically in a derogatory sense. In the 19th century, it was readopted as a self-descriptor by members of various artistic groups inspired by the ancient world. In the 20th century, it came to be applied as a self-description by practitioners of contemporary pagan or neo-pagan religious movements. Okay, you see there's a lot more to it. I'm not going to get more in depth there. And here's another one. What is paganism? Pagans may be trained in a particular tradition, or they may follow their own inspiration. Paganism is not dogmatic. Pagans pursue their own version of the divine as a direct and personal experience. The Pagan Federation recognizes the rich diversity of traditions that form the body of modern paganism. In a brief introductory booklet, it is not possible to describe each and every one. Rather than attempt this, the pages in this section links are on the left side. Okay. So, I wanted to bring that up first and foremost because you're going to hear the term pagan. So what we know, it's just not one of the main religions, period. What are the main religions? There's 5 of them. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And all 3 of these evolved from the same person, Abraham. We know the story of Abraham from the Bible. Abraham was the one who was asked to sacrifice his son, Isaac, and then the angel came, and the angel said, you don't have to do that, but as a show of faith from God, your descendants will be as multitude, and as many as the stars in the sky. So we have these 3 religions, and then we have Hinduism, and we have Buddhism. Those are the 5 major religions. So paganism is something that is outside of that. Simply, that's it. So it could be looking at nature, looking at things in a different way. And one thing to remember about religions are the ways in which man looks at God. The way in which man has decided to look at God and has written it down, particular rules. But it doesn't mean that those are the only ways to look at God. And it doesn't mean that a pagan isn't going to have the belief in the same deities, the same gods, as those in the non-pagan religions. It simply means that their approach might be different than those in the particular church. Okay? So let's look a little bit further, and as that word comes up, now you understand a bit. Just like the word occult means that which is hidden. Doesn't mean evil or bad, it means something is hidden. So let's look further at Christmas, what Christmas is all about. First of all, we understand about Jesus. When was Jesus born? The popular myth is his birth was December 25th in the year 1 CE. The New Testament gives no date or year for his birth, but the earliest gospel, St. Mark's, written about 65 CE, begins with the baptism of an adult Jesus. It suggests that the earliest Christians lacked interest in or knowledge of Jesus' birth date. The year of his birth was determined by Dionysius Exiguus. Okay, we're going to go past there because we understand about Jesus' birth. We dealt with that yesterday. Here, how did Christmas come to be celebrated December 25th? Roman pagans first introduced the holiday of Saturnalia, which is a week-long period of lawlessness celebrated between December 17th through the 25th. During this period, Roman courts were closed. Roman law dictated that no one could be punished for damaging property or injuring people during the week-long celebration. The festival began when Roman authorities chose an enemy of the Roman people to represent the Lord of Misrule. Each Roman community selected a victim whom they forced to indulge in food and other physical pleasures throughout the week. At the festival's conclusion, December 25th, Roman authorities believed they were destroying the forces of darkness by brutally murdering the innocent man or woman. The ancient Greek writer, poet, and historian Lucian, in his dialogue entitled Saturnalia, describes the festival's observance in his time. In addition to human sacrifice, he mentions these customs: widespread intoxication, going from house to house while singing naked, rape and other sexual license, and consuming human-shaped biscuits. In the 4th century, Christianity imported the Saturnalia festival, hoping to take the pagan masses in with it. Christian leaders succeeded in converting to Christianity a large number of pagans by promising them that they could continue to celebrate Saturnalia as Christians. The problem was that there was nothing intrinsically Christian about Saturnalia's To remedy this, these Christian leaders named Saturnalia's concluding day, December 25th, to be Jesus' birthday. Christians had little success, however, refining the practices of Saturnalia. As Stephen Nisselbaum, history professor of the University of Massachusetts Amherst, writes, in return for ensuing massive observance of the anniversary of the Savior's birth, by assigning it to this resonant date, the Church, for its part, tactfully agreed to allow the holiday to be celebrated more or less the way it had always been. The earliest Christmas holidays were celebrated by drinking, sexual indulgence, singing naked in the streets, etc. The revered increased Mather of Boston observed in 1687 that the early Christians who first observed the Nativity on December 25th did not do so thinking that Christ was born in that month, but because the heathens, Saturnalia was that time kept in Rome, and they were willing to have those pagan holidays metamorphosized into Christian ones. Because of its known pagan origin, Christmas was banned by the Puritans, and its observance was illegal in Massachusetts between 1659 and 1681. However, Christmas was and is still celebrated by most Christians. Some of the most depraved customs of Saturnalia Carnival were intentionally revived by the Catholic Church in 1466 when Pope Paul II, for the amusement of his Roman citizens, forced Jews to race naked through the streets of the city. An eyewitness account report, before they were to run, the Jews were richly fed as to make the race more difficult for them and at the same time more amusing for spectators. They ran amid Rome's taunting shrieks and peals of laughter, while the Holy Father stood upon a richly ornamented balcony and laughed heartily. As part of the Saturnalia Carnival throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, rabbis of the ghetto in Rome were forced to wear clownish outfits and march through the city streets to the jeers of the crowd, pelted by a variety of missiles. When the Jewish community of Rome sent a petition in 1836 to Pope Gregory the 16th, begging him to stop the annual Saturnalia abuse of the Jewish community, he responded, "It is not opportune to make any innovation." On December 25, 1881, Christian leaders worshipped the Polish masses into anti-Semitic frenzies that led to riots across the country. In Warsaw, 12 Jews were brutally murdered, large numbers maimed, and many Jewish women were raped. 2 million rubles worth of property was destroyed. Well, that is a bit different than what we know of Christmas time. So you see what happened? You had this ceremonies that were going on that were just lewd, debaucherous ceremonies. Part of it was involved with cleansing society of the darkness. That was the whole idea. So they would take someone, one of the bad guys, one of the prisoners, feed them, treat them to all kind of goodness and debauchery, and let them pig out and everything for a while, and then chase them down the street and kill them to represent killing off of all the darkness. So there was some intent behind it that seemed to be good, but the execution of the idea seemed to be a little bit misguided. So in order to appease things, Christmas Day, Jesus' birthday, was just thrown in there like, well, here, Jesus is going to save everything. He's the savior of the world. We'll just throw his birthday after that. But as we know, that's not when Jesus was born. And so you could see it's a lumping together of various different reasons and ideas that don't necessarily match. Here's a little further. It says the origins of the Christmas customs. The origin of the Christmas tree. Just as early Christians recruited Roman pagans by associating Christmas with the Saturnalia, so too worshippers of the Asherah cult and its offshoots were recruited by the Christian sanctioning Christmas trees. Pagans had long worshipped trees in the forest or brought them into their homes and decorated them, and this observance was adopted and painted with a Christian veneer by the church. The origin of mistletoe. Norse mythology recounts how the god Baldar was killed using a mistletoe arrow by the river god Holder while fighting for the female Nanna. Druid rituals use mistletoe to poison their human sacrificial victims. The Christian custom of kissing under the mistletoe is a later synthesis of the sexual license of Saturnalia with Druidic sacrificial cult. The origin of Christmas presents. In pre-Christian Rome, the emperors compelled the most despised citizens to bring offerings and gifts during the Saturnalia and Calends. Later, the ritual extended to include gift-giving among the general populace. The Catholic Church gave this custom a Christian flavor by rerooting it in the supposed gift-giving of St. Nicholas. And St. Nicholas, the origin of Santa Claus. Nicholas was born in Parara, Turkey, 270 CE, and later became the Bishop of Myra. He died in 345 CE on December 6th, and was only named a saint in the 19th century. Nicholas was among the most senior bishops who convened the Council of Nicaea in 325 and created the New Testament. The text they produced portrayed Jews as the children of the devil who sentenced Jesus to death. In 1087, a group of sailors who idolized Nicholas moved his bones from Turkey to a sanctuary beyond Italy. There, Nicholas supplanted a female boon-giving deity called the grandmother of Pascha, Epiphiana, who used to fill the children's stockings with her gifts. The grandmother was ousted from her shrine at Bari, which became the center of the Nicholas cult. Members of the group gave each other gifts during a pageant they conducted annually on the anniversary of Nicholas's death, December 6th. The Nicholas cult spread north until it was adopted by the German and cultic pagans. These groups worshipped a pantheon led by Woden, their chief god and the father of Thor, Baldar, and TW2. Woden had a long white beard and rode a horse through the heavens one evening each autumn. When Nicholas merged with Woden, he shed his Mediterranean appearance, grew a beard, mounted a flying horse, rescheduled his flight for December, and donned heavy winter clothing. In a bid for pagan adherence, in Northern Europe, the Catholic Church adopted the Nicholas cult and taught that they did distribute gifts on December 25th instead of December 6th. In 1809, the novelist Washington Irving wrote a satire of Dutch culture entitled Knickerbocker History. The satire reveres several times to the white-bearded flying horse St. Nicholas, using his Dutch name Santa Claus. Dr. Clement Moore, professor of Union Seminary, read Knickerbocker History and in 1822 published a poem based on the character Santa Claus. It was the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. Moore innovated by portraying a Santa with 8 reindeer who descended through chimneys. The Bavarian illustrator Thomas Nast almost completed the modern picture of Santa Claus. From 1862 through 1886, based on Moore's poem, Nast drew more than 2,200 cartoon images of Santa for Harper's Weekly. Before Nast, St. Nicholas had been pictured as everything from stern-looking bishop to a gnome-like figure in a frock. Nast also gave Santa a home in the North Pole, his workshop filled with elves, and a list of the good and bad children of the world. All Santa was missing was his red outfit. In 1931, the Coca-Cola Corporation contracted the Swedish commercial artist Hedin Sundblom to create a Coke-drinking Santa. Sundblom modeled Santa on his friend Lou Prentice, chosen for his cheerful, chubby face. The corporation insisted that Santa's fur-trimmed suit be bright Coca-Cola red. Santa was born, a blend of Christian crusader, pagan god, and commercial idol. Okay, and here's Christmas challenge. Christmas has always been a holiday celebrated carelessly. For millennia, pagans, Christians, and even Jews have been swept away in the season's festivities, and very few people ever pause to consider the celebration's intrinsic meaning, history, or origins. Christmas celebrates the birth of the Christian God, who came to rescue mankind from the curse of the Torah. Christmas is a lie. There is no Christian church with a tradition that Jesus was really born on December 25th. December 25th is a day in which the Jews have been shamed, tortured, and murdered, and many of the most popular Christian customs, including Christmas trees, mistletoe, Christmas presents, and Santa Claus, are the modern incarnations of the most depraved pagan rituals ever practiced on Earth. So, there's a whole list of stuff about Christmas to really get you thinking about what this day is all about. But as we can see, it's a whole lumping together of a lot of things. And when we look at what we have in our society today, I'd say here in America, for the most part, even though we have the gift giving and there is some of these other factors in there, I think the holiday has really evolved to a time of family. And that's what's important, that family takes time to get together. Even when family is far apart, family members make an effort to gather together during these holidays to celebrate. So times and seasons evolve and change. We put all this together. It's not Jesus' birthday, but it's a time that we are celebrating it. So we celebrate what Yeshua was about. And we remember what he was about, especially as we have these times where we have darkness is really coming to an end, where we have the winter solstice has come to an end and now light is coming back. So, it represents all of the goodness. So it does make sense that we would have this Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, would be here at this time, even though it is not his birthday time. So there's a lot of things to ponder. And as you go through this Christmas, this holiday season, just think about all of these things. What they meant in the past, what they mean now, how we're evolving this forward. I don't know in life what everyone is supposed to do. I think we all have challenges just figuring out what we're supposed to do on an individual basis. But one thing I do know is we all strive to make the world a better place than it was when we arrived. And I think everybody in their own way is doing that. Whether they're misguided in their execution of that idea or not, people are trying to make the world a better place, or at least so they believe that. And if we think about where we've come and how we've evolved things, we could see that we find ways to improve things, change things, and so on. So I think that's one of the great things about living down here in the earth, and one of the things to remember, this is a free will zone. So the Creator wanted us to see what we would do if we were put in a free will zone with all of these different distractions and showing us that there's only this first floor. I think the Creator wants to know if we're going to discover that there's 5 floors in this building, or are we just going to remain in this lower floor? So that's it. That is about Christmas, what's going on with Christmas, what it's all about. And the links are available so you can check it out and read further, because there is more to read. This is an article called The 7 Benefits of Balancing Your Chakras, How to Do It, from Body, Mind, Soul. If you feel like you may not have enough energy, making an effort to tone out distractions and to tune into your body may be the first step to feeling better. Balancing your chakras is an excellent way to find balance within the body and the mind. While chakra meditation may seem too out there for many people, it can be beneficial and easy to practice in a modern context. This ancient practice is now getting support from modern science, with evidence showing that energy healing may help fight cancer. Here is a quick intro into chakras, a number of benefits of a chakra-related practice, plus how to fit it into daily life. What are chakras? Good question. The chakra system is an ancient way of viewing the body. It is divided into 7 zones, with each area having energy that must flow freely. When the chakras are balanced, the whole body works in harmony and we feel elevated, energized, and whole. If the concept of energy feels too new agey for you, just think of the 7 points along the body as different organ systems. All of your organs must be in good working order for the body and the mind to be healthy. So here's the 7 chakras, and just a reminder, the first one's at the base of the spine. Second one's about the belly button. Third one just below the rib cage. Fourth one is the heart. Fifth one is the throat. Sixth one is the third eye, and the 7th one is the crown chakra. Okay? So here we go. What are the 7 zones or energy or function within the body? Here's a quick rundown of each chakra. First one, the root chakra, is red, element of the earth. It's located at the base of the spine or the tailbone. Functions are elimination of waste and toxins, core balance, pelvic floor. Purpose, feeling of being grounded, safe, and secure. Second one is the sacral or pelvic chakra. It's orange, water. It's involved with lower digestion, absorption, immune system, sexual organs. The purpose is feeling pleasurable, accepting, creative, and abundant. Third chakra is yellow. It's the solar plexus, element of fire. Around this point where the ribs meet the middle of your abdomen. It's upper digestion, stomach, diaphragm. Feeling confident, in control, and self-worth. The heart chakra, it's colored green. Deals with breathing, cardiovascular function, feeling loved, giving love, inner peace. Fifth chakra is the throat chakra. It's blue. Taste, swallowing, speaking, jaw tightness. Purpose is to be able to communicate, express both inwardly and outwardly. The third eye, it's right between the 2 eyes. It's indigo, which is a blue-violet color. Here we have sight, decision-making, perception, feeling able to understand life situation, perceived meaning. And finally, the violet chakra on the top, the crown chakra, another name, the violet flame. If you think of Saint Germain and his teachings, the violet flame. This is top of the head, mental peace, connectiveness, feeling beautiful, connected, and peaceful, purposeful. The benefits of balancing the chakras. Now that you know the basics about each of the 7 chakras, how can you use them for holistic health? The benefits of balancing are closely tied with the philosophy of yoga. If you have a yoga class or practice on your own, you will know the feeling of full body integration that comes after completing a session. Yoga excerpts will explain that this is due to the movement of life energy, also called prana or chi, that comes from practicing yoga. It is believed that blocked energy in a particular chakra or chakras can lead to illness in those areas of the body. Taking time to shift the energy using yoga or chakra meditation can help to clear these issues. This is something you can do consciously so that you can take control of your state of well-being. There are many ways you might integrate a chakra balancing into your regular self-care routine. Here's a basic summary, although you may wish to do more research. Meditation. Visualize glowing spheres corresponding to the color, starting with the root and moving up. Tune into each as you move through the chakras. You got acupuncture is another way to stimulate them, yoga, and so on. Okay? So we do the chakras and we do the meditations. I think we'll add that in today. It's a good reminder to do that. And remember, it's all energy. We're just balancing out the energy. Balancing out the energy. Here's a message for today. This one comes from SaLuSa.
SaLuSa to me.
December 22nd, 2015, by Multidimensional Ocean.
SaLuSa.
Dear ones, we wish to send you a short message of peace and love upon your planet and for your hearts and souls. Remember that you are all light beings, who have once shared the light of the Creator, and as part of this unique being, you owe it to yourself, to love all that is, and will be. We are saddened by the continuous wars upon your world and wish to see peace and love reign upon the surface of your planet, if only for one day. Wish all beings on your planet to have peace and love in their heart. Wish for all wars to stop if only for a couple of hours on Christmas Day, and pray for the idea of eternal peace to remain upon the planet for eternity. So much pain and suffering on your planet, and it saddens us to see how much all of it is entirely useless and unnecessary. We wish and pray that this would cease in the new year and that humanity would finally open its eyes in love and joy, in a world of love, support, and unity. Find the love within your heart and share it with the world, in all and in everything at peace. You are free beings made from the love of your parents and of your Creator. Share that love with all life forms and with your Mother Earth. Fill your heart with the wonders of the higher realms and with the love that resides above your head at all times. We are one, and we deserve to live as one in a world of peace and joy. Thank you.
SaLuSa, by Multidimensional Ocean.
Alright, that was a very good short message. Brings us to our meditations. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. And feel the energy from these breaths moving through your body. And as the energy moves through your body, let's just imagine all of the chakras. Starting from the chakra at the top of your head, the crown chakra, drawing in the energy from the cosmos. So see this light energy, this white light, hitting the first chakra. And there imagine the color violet. And this crown chakra is the chakra that sends the energy throughout the body from the perspective of the highest aspect of who we are. To imagine the color violet and imagine this energy like a pinwheel moving in a clockwise and counterclockwise direction at the same time. And just imagine that color violet. And then feel the energy moving down from there while that chakra continues to be activated. Feel the energy moving down to the third eye, right between the two eyebrows. Again, imagine the energy moving in a circular clockwise pattern, while at the same time moving counterclockwise, and imagine the color indigo. This is the chakra that allows us to see through dimensions of space and time. And so imagine now that energy continues to move down to the throat chakra, where you see the color blue, and imagine this blue moving both clockwise and counterclockwise in circular patterns. This throat chakra is how we communicate to the world. And feel the energy move down from the throat chakra to the heart chakra, where we see the color green. And we see this swirling energy moving around in a circular pattern, both clockwise and counterclockwise. And the energy moves down just below the rib cage. And we now see the energy becoming the color yellow as it continues to move in both a clockwise and counterclockwise pattern. And then the energy moves down to the navel area right by the belly button, and we see the energy become orange. And the orange energy moves clockwise in a circular pattern and at the same time counterclockwise. And the energy moves down finally to the root chakra. We see the energy moving and turning the color red as it moves both clockwise and counterclockwise. And from there the energy continues down into the earth, anchoring us to the earth, while the energy above anchors us to the cosmos. And there we are as a child, a combination of all of these energies mixed together. And we feel these energies as it moves from chakra to chakra, as the energy moves in both clockwise and counterclockwise fashions, as vortexes of energy, connecting us each and every one to dimensions of reality beyond this physical, momentary place. So let this cleansing feeling of the chakras release all the negativity and doubts that reside in our bodies, and fill our bodies with light, with positivity, with love. And let this feeling, this light, this energy fill our bodies and overflow, so this energy continues out and about into the world around us. And as we move from place to place, let's just imagine that this energy spreads out and is shared with each and every one that we meet. And they in turn take this energy and share this with others, till one by one we find that we are all sharing the energy of love and positivity. And we find that all of the problems and issues melt away, and that love and positivity clear the darkness and clear the problems from life. And let's imagine our eyes opening and we see through the illusions, see clearly and understanding. So let the subconscious mind continue on this journey, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. Open your eyes. That's it, my friends. Thank you very much for being here today. I hope that all this information will be useful to you somehow or another. It's important when we get to the truth of a situation to understand what is going on. Truth sets us free, so if we know what really is happening, we can know how to act in those situations. We can know how to move through those situations with the best possible efficiency. So there you have it. Hope you have an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll be back tomorrow. Peace. I'm out of here.